going,
Mm-hmm.
and it just
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. If you don't press the button in time, it kind of just shuts it off, doesn't it?
We are now
I know what you mean.
live on YouTube.
Happy days. So that's us on the YouTube live. That's us on the TikTok live, and now on the Instagram live. Yes, Liz.
yeah.
Yeah, we're happy. We're there. Right, excellent. Welcome everyone everywhere to another episode of the Elite Thinking Club. I'm Chris, Jules, Julien. I'm joined tonight by my co-hosts Michael and Liz. Guys, good.
Yeah, always
You good?
Yo,
Excellent. We at the Elite Thinking Club are here for critical thinking. We explore pretty much everything and anything to do with life that we find interesting, and we believe others find interesting as well. It all began because of lockdowns, when my conspiracy head started going extra out of control. Started thinking, what the hell is this pandemic, and why is it happening, and global catastrophe, and then but then out of that come all the good things as well. You know what it's like. But if you're anything like us, then happy days. Click the like button, click the follow button, click the subscribe button, hit the bell, all them good things, so you never miss an episode when we're live. You'll always get notified. So last episode, guys, what did we talk about last episode? What
it
was
was
that?
the
Wade versus
abortion.
Roe.
Oh yeah, we started talking about that abortion side of things. So was it again Wade versus Roe?
Roe versus Wade. Yeah.
Roe versus Wade. We were talking about that, and yeah, about how deep it is. Like, you pro-choice. Everyone has the right. And I think in a nutshell, what we came with was, in how we summed it up at the end of the episode, was that if you make the choice, embrace the choice, but no one has the right to take that choice away from you. That was pretty much what we came to at the end of that episode. If you want to watch that episode, guys, then yeah, go and take a look. I'll put it in the link in the description or in the cards there, and watch that back and let us know what you think. So before we go any further, big shout out to all of our members, people always tuning in, our consistent members and consistent viewers. Without you guys, honestly, we wouldn't really be as motivated to do this as much as we are now, because we're growing. And so if you want to be a member of the Elite Thinking Club, you can just follow the links in the description and see what we're all about, go in a bit more detail about it. Tonight's episode, we're going to be exploring the cost of living dilemmas. We're getting to a point now where inflation, especially in the UK, has rose so much. It's rising and rising and rising. The petrol's going up, the wages aren't going up, and things are just a bit confusing. And we're going to explore it as to why this is happening. Why is it happening? Loads of reasons, I guess. And tonight we're going to explore it, because at the Elite Thinking Club, you cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it. And you cannot understand it unless you're willing to explore it. Good debates don't get ugly. We may talk of things that may make people feel vulnerable. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged because of life experiences, but we're not trying to make people wrong or to incite riot, but simply explore. So welcome to the Elite Thinking Club, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I just spoke for a good 6 solid minutes there. I didn't even let you guys really say nothing. But Michael, Liz, you guys all right? Yeah.
Nah, it's all good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool,
one
guys.
thing you did mention was the fuel. Yeah, that's quite a bummer at the moment. Just so
for real.
expensive to fill up.
Especially for you, you got like a 5-litre diesel.
Well-
And you're like,
No, I got rid of that, didn't I? I got rid of.
all right.
Yeah, I haven't got this anymore.
Firstly,
I've got the Audi now.
yes, Liz. Decent. So fuel is costing still.
that's a beast, Michael. That is a beast of a vehicle.
Innit?
Firstly, to me, it's the cost of lockdown.
Right. Well said. Okay.
You know, when you shut down manufacturing and for the best part of 2 years.
Yeah.
And in China, and how it's held up all of the boats at the ports, the ships at the ports, and supply getting out to the rest of the world. So lockdown has caused the cost of living crisis.
All right. So this isn't anything other than what happened is now we're on like the consequence of what had happened in the past, like because of lockdowns. Now we've got this cost of living crisis.
Absolutely.
Because I always thought that the cost of living
also
Yeah, go on, Liz.
There you go.
She's frozen.
She's frozen. She's got a real bad
Yeah.
connection. Liz,
So tech-wise,
you got to start paying that internet bill. Stop being a cheapskate. Cost of living.
tech-wise, we're a
Down
bit,
on the internet.
we're a bit
Tried
messed
to
up
trim that.
tech-wise as well.
Go on,
Because
Michael.
when we went into lockdown, most of the big companies thought that we wouldn't need chips, so they stopped their orders on chips.
Right.
And then it went the other way. So everybody wanted tech because they're all doing like Zoom calls for business, PlayStations, Xboxes, all that sort of stuff. Phones.
Yeah.
So then we're still in a chip shortage. So it's so hard still to get tech.
Yes.
So
exactly
yes.
that.
So
Like
there's more supply than the demand. Like, more demand than supply at the moment.
Right, and this is exactly what causes it. This is much bigger than a lot of people know. In regards to why we are currently living in a bit of a dilemma, a bit of a crisis in regards to the cost of living. There's even been reports now of like lower income households that are really, really struggling. They are at the point where there's this catchphrase or like this what's the word, buzzword, where they're calling it either eating or heating, right? People have to make a decision as to whether to pay their gas bill or electric bill or to have food in the fridge. Like they can't afford the both, and it's a bit heartbreaking. Like I won't even pretend that I can relate yet, but I'm not exactly far from it. I have to literally count the pennies. I'm at the point where I'm like, fuck, like, you know, I used to like sponsor like Subway. I used to like go out and, you know, tap my card. I used to go and just grab an ice cream from Rossi's down the seafront, and you know, it was cool. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, right, so I've got to make sure the fridge is full. That's for sure. Got to make sure the electricity and the gas is all done. All these things got to be done before I can even think about just tapping the card like I used to. Do you know what I'm saying? Even to the point, right, where I'm a little, like I'm at that point now, and I'm just being brutally honest, where I'm actually like, when I get invited to places, I'm like, can I actually do that? Like, can I afford to do that this month? You know what I mean? And I don't want to be that guy that can't do it. So anyway, evening, Rishi, and shout outs to the viewers. So we're now talking about the cost of living dilemma, and I know it isn't because of anything that I'm doing. I just truly believe that something's happened along the way, and I want to figure it out with the help of the audience and you guys. I want to figure out what has happened, like because it's like I haven't changed my lifestyle. Maybe just things cost more. What's going on? Why am I feeling the pinch?
Well, also, the second thing I was going to mention is that during lockdown, you guys hear me? Yeah,
a little bit. You keep trying.
During
a little bit, Liz.
Yeah. Hopefully you can. During lockdown, there was easy, so they printed 500 back into the economy, and but nothing was open and industry was shut down. So the more it's going to devalue the currency.
Yeah, that's what happened in Zimbabwe, I think it was.
Right. So what you're referring to there, Liz, is how
most of it goes to the banks. Most of it goes to the banks as well. So corporations right now that are currently making money, and whilst everybody is struggling.
So again, at the Elite Thinking Club, one thing that I really need to remember is not to blame. One thing you can't do is blame. We can't start playing a blame game. We just need to understand something right now, because I'd love to blame corporations. I'd love to blame the government. Fuck it. I'd even like to blame my arch enemy at work. But I'm not saying I've got one, but I'm just saying for those that can relate to that, you'd love to blame someone else, but that's the first thing you don't want to do. So we need to understand like what's happening. So there is a 2.4% increase or something like that. No, not 2.4%. It was somewhere in the, it's like 1/4. So for every tenner you had in your pocket, you've got an extra £2.50 because of the amount of money that was printed during lockdowns. So it's like you had a lot more cash. You had like more cash in your wallet than you would have normally had, but it wouldn't have been worth anything more because everybody had that. Do you get what I mean? So imagine if like you had the physical dough, but because everyone else had it, it was all still relative anyway. So even if you felt like you had more cash, it wasn't actually worth anything. It was worth what it was before. But that caused something to happen along the way. But what was that something? Now, is that what we're faced with now? Is that what creates inflation? We've got more cash, but the things aren't the same. Go on. Anyone can anyone explain?
Zach put from
creates
YouTube.
a giant
Hang on,
Ponzi
let me get
scheme.
this YouTube out.
Go on, Michael. Go on.
So he said there are 3 factors: the lockdown, the war, and outside forces.
Well, outside forces, well, like Star Wars forces. What kind of forces? What are you on about, Zach? Shout outs to Zach, though. Yeah. So we understand lockdown. We understand Ukrainian war, which we're going to talk about. But what is he talking about? Outside forces. What does that mean, Zach?
Explain, Zach.
Explain yourself, Zach. What does outside forces mean? May the force be with you. Outside forces.
And then he also put the backlog of goods, lots of things expired, and companies had to cover costs. People also racked up debt. World Economic Forum. That's what he said.
Yes. So for all the viewers that are watching now currently, and you may have something you want to say on it, like how is it affecting your life? Because there may be some that aren't affected, and I want to talk about that later on down the line because it's really important to understand that there are some people who make so much disposable income, they will never be affected by the cost of living because they have so much disposable income. Like, for example, £100 to you or me may not be the be all and end all. Like we can get by per month with or without an extra £100, but for someone else, pardon me, that could be the difference between a full fridge. Like Liz, you weren't on when we said this, but there's this buzzword going around at the moment where they're referring to lower income households making a choice between eating or heating. Like they can't afford both, and it's quite
going to happen
heartbreaking.
This winter. It will happen this winter, especially when people have to have.
I'm not gonna lie, like right now, fuck me, it's been excuse my language, but it is fucking hot here in the UK. I am dying of heat. Like I'm so glad, I'm grateful. I ain't got to pay my heat.
Don't complain.
I'm not complaining, but
like, I'm paying more electric because of the fans. I'm having fans on all the time.
Yeah. Open the window.
Also, I just wanted to say, the guy on YouTube, I missed part of the comment, but I heard some of it where he said lockdown was partly caused. So yeah, I believe lockdown and the 500 billion that was printed, creating a giant Ponzi scheme, and also the cost of taxation crisis, which is also happening. Like 46% of the fuel take is on juice. 46%.
That's like half, isn't it? Pretty much. Shout outs to T Bezer. She's just said, I've just got a comment. I just got a comment from one of the viewers, and she's saying that, as a single mom, she's really finding it difficult. Like she works full time. So shout out to that. Being a full-time worker and a single mom, it's a full-time job being a mom, isn't it? And a dad, being a parent. But it's not just enough to live.
Yeah.
Now, what smacks it is when I was growing up, right? I mean, I swear to God, like I swear, teachers were okay. Imagine a teacher, she could have been a single mom teacher with 2 kids. She still had her holidays and enough to go on holiday. She could have paid her bills, pay her mortgage, pay whatever she needed to pay, fund her children through school, put food in the fridge, pay the bills, and still be able to go on holiday. And I'm not that old. I'm like 33. And that, 20 years ago? 20 years ago, not that long ago. How have we got to the point now where you could be in a similar position that like 20 years ago, but you literally cannot afford to live? You can't even go on holidays. You can't do nothing. How? What has happened? What has happened in those 20 years?
We can't get out of the cost of living crisis. We just can't. And there's I think there's over 1 in mortgages, and monthly mortgage payments are going to go through the roof, and people are literally going to, like you say, do mortgage, put the heating on, put food on the table. How have we? I know we're not doing the whole blame game, but there's so many elements to living. Just one thing.
Yeah. So when we went into when the war happened with Russia, and then we got the government were then having to pay for more fuel, but they didn't wait. Like, they still had loads and loads of fuel already, but they didn't wait. They put the rest of it up. So that's like, say, if I'm buying stuff off you and your supply is going to go up, but you've already bought 1,000 units of something, that's like you charging me more money for those 1,000 that you've already got.
Yeah.
Before buying more.
Well, this is the thing. They tried to blame it on the
£1 billion, and instead of £1 billion, they made 600 million. So instead of letting the fuel company lose a bit of money, they went, no, we're going to just charge you more money, even though we've already got all this fuel in backlog that we could sell for the same price until we get to the point where we need to buy more fuel.
So from my understanding, companies who supply a lot do it in a year in advance. So let's say, like, for example, grain or wheat, there is like enough not crop, how can I put it? It's not how, when they reserve it, is it a reserve? When they have enough reserves, they only sell it a year later. So they'll have it in storage for a year so that they've always got a year backlog. So they know, then they know they're not living month to month, they're living like year to year. So that's the thing. I mean, when it comes to this supply, where do they grow this stuff? Where is it mass produced? And this is why, like, the bigger picture of things is the mass chessboard that we live on as a globe, and the global leaders who have to kind of make these decisions. And one of the hardest things about being in the UK is that our government made some decisions that kind of jeopardized our security, right, in regards to who we can trade with and where we can get the best price, and also our allied support when times get hard. And you know, like, for example, the Brexit situation, like leaving Brexit, it's come to light that we would have been better off if we stayed. But obviously, the gift of hindsight, we would have never known that. So it's a difficult one, really, like to really get your head round. But you're not wrong in regards to the supply and demand. If there is a high demand and a low supply, prices go up. It is what it is, because, you know, we can't get it. The issue with that is it has a massive knock-on effect. So the rates go up of like APRs, and, you know, it's people's pockets that get hit. And because, like, the first people to get hit are the low income. And that's why, do you remember a time when Amazon were offering a job sign-up fee? They were giving away like $2,000 per person that you recommend to join them, because what was happening was, due to that need for workers, because workers were leaving, they were bugging out. Remember when the HGV drivers went fuck this and moved on? They just moved on. We were lacking HGV drivers in the UK. There was this big thing about it. We were screaming for logistics, screaming. And it was like, where'd they all go? They just jumped ship. They just went to another country and started working there. And it hit us massively. So
you guys can actually hear,
it has this knock-on effect. And it's a difficult one to get your head round. Later, I want to talk about how you can prepare yourself for what's to come. But let's keep going in on what we're currently talking about, which is the cost of living dilemma. Right. So
we've also got, I'm just going to pipe up and say this, the whole false economy, net zero. So I don't know if you've seen in the media, you probably haven't seen in the UK media, but being on the Dutch farmers, it's being shared, the protests. So the farmers are struggling to pay for the fertilizers and, you know, the products that they need in order to do their job and farm, because they're being you know, they're having this net zero being pushed on them, and yeah, they're against it, and it's
what is net
massively.
zero? What is net zero?
Hello?
Yeah, go on, Liz. Listening. What is net zero? That's okay. Don't worry about it.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. That's the Riverside
Just keep
portal
talking,
that we
then.
record on, by the way. Yeah, keep talking. You're good. You're not disconnected.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
now she is. She just plugs out. She just disappears. God,
you should have just said it.
Right. So, guys, if you haven't done so already,
Amazon,
if you're still watching,
sorry,
if you're, no, it's all right. What did he say? What did he say?
Amazon have a 6-month turnover of staff.
Yeah,
I think that's more because Amazon is not very good to work for.
Nah, it's tough. The regulations are tough, apparently. But I don't want to get into why Amazon's tough to work at. Like, we're talking about this dilemma of the cost of living. It's going to get worse. That's another thing as well. Like, we can't just imagine now it's at its worst. But then also, did we all kind of know it was going to be like this when lockdowns were happening? And, you know, but we just kind of didn't want to really, like, or is it that we've had it so good for so long? Finally, it's our turn in the Western world to finally feel like, yeah, we can hear you, Liz.
I was going to finish what I was saying.
Is it finally our turn in the Western world to feel what it's actually like for the rest of the world? Because for so long, I've grown up in a country where I'd hear about poverty in other countries. I'd hear about war-torn in other countries. Fucking hell, I went to Afghanistan like as a soldier and saw how they were living out there. And I actually was a little bit envious at some things, but then also missed how fucking luxurious it is over here. You know, is it now time for us to feel our fair share of hardship? I mean, what's stopping you having a cold shower? Really?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having a cold shower, and I think a lot of people do their bit. Just going back to my last bit, I don't know if it got cut off or not, but with regards to and the net zero they're pushing is the whole climate change.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Strategy. Okay. So yeah, cold showers are good, but I just think that what is being implemented and pushed on us, I think it's not our choice and it's not fair.
But what are we supposed to do? For example, like if there is a real short supply of something, then the demand is going to be high. And imagine now it's global. Imagine now that there is only like one place to actually source your fuel, your oil, your gas, and everyone wants it.
Well,
it goes to the highest.
You can kind of, I think people would start to make their own, like out of cooking oil and alcohol. I literally think people would. I actually think that there's going to be a lot of backlash from this, because I think there's starting to find ways of sort of growing their own and making things that, you know, they don't necessarily have to rely on these resources, shops and manufacturers.
Yeah, but didn't you hear about that guy that built like a windmill in his garden to supply electricity for all of his neighbors for free? And he got shut down, didn't he?
Yeah, this is what I mean.
I mean, people will innovate. You know the classic saying, hard times create hard men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. A classic saying. So we're at a point now where it's hard times. So obviously we're going to create hard men because we need to innovate. We need to make things happen. The issue we got is when you do come out with some brand spanking idea like, yeah, I'm going to make my own wind farm in my garden so that my neighbors don't have to pay their electric. They will come and shut you down quicker than you can say electric, because what is it, illegal? I don't know. Is it? Because it's not illegal to grow your own fruit and veg.
They'll find a way to make it illegal because they're not getting any tax out of it.
You're allowed to grow your own fruits and vegetables in your garden, isn't it? You can have an allotment. You can greenhouse. What, Liz? Have you muted your mic? Because I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's muted.
She muted. Liz, you need to start stepping up, mate. It's not like I ain't done this before. Do you know what I mean? We've been running Elite Thinking Club for over a year, which reminds me, guys, if you haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and follow us for future episodes.
And join our Discord.
Can join the Discord, yeah. All good, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, so hit me with another knowledge bomb. Hit me with another one. Who else thinks they know a thing or two about why this cost of living crisis dilemma is happening? Anyone watching, viewing, put your comments down. Let's know what you know. Like,
someone said a statement on your TikTok that's quite out there.
Go on, what is it?
Water, electric, and council tax should be free.
Water, electric, and council tax should be free.
I mean, the council tax, if they made that free, they'll just put tax up elsewhere. So that won't really do anything. But the water and electric, you need
we just
someone.
Have guys say level up or get lost, basically. yeah. Let's just shed the weak. Weak die. Strong survive. The weak will perish. Messed up, man. I believe crime will definitely go up. Because when people are desperate times do desperate measures. People don't want to do it, but they end up doing it. Because if you have to choose between your heating or your eating, you're not going to fuck around for too long. Especially if you've got like kids. You don't want to do it, but you'd do it to feed your kids, wouldn't you? Of course you would. People are very quick to say, nah, crime's not the answer. You need to get up your ass and get a job. You could get a job. You 100% could get a job. But isn't there an incentive not to? When you know that you could get like benefits. There's even, I heard, like an extra 650 quid that people could claim from the UK government now if they're on certain benefits to help them through these hard times. Right. So if you manage to lower your expenses to a point where you don't have to do much, you could just live on that. Now, granted, I don't believe in like it's good for your mental health to absolutely do nothing. I really don't. I believe that everyone, everywhere, work is a major part of positive mental attitude, a major part of healthy mindset. Whether or not you like your job, whether you complain about your job, it doesn't matter. Like you are building a healthy work timetable. Like you are up, you are out, you are active, you are moving, you are socializing, you are doing something. Because the less you do, quite literally, the less you do. You want something done, ask a busy person. So make yourself busy and your life will be awesome. That's my ethos. That's how I kind of see it. However, not everyone sees the same things the same way as me, and I get that. So you will get those who want to do nothing and claim. And I don't really blame them. If you've got a government that are happy to give you money for free, then
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's tough though when you know that
said there are people who are greedy for power. Have you heard about the Georgia Guildstones? Never heard of it. I'm gonna have to look into it.
I've never heard of it.
Georgia
never heard of it. Georgia Guildstone. Never heard. One thing that I know would be amazing is if we could fix our country first before trying to fix others. One thing I do genuinely believe is that for the longest of time, my grandma's even said this. She goes, on the TV, since I moved to this country, there's always this help aid needed. Give to charity here, give to charity there. Yet we got homelessness in our own street, in our own backyard. We got homelessness and we can't even feed our people. Why is there not a TV advert? I'm not being funny, of homeless, poor white people all over my TV. Why are we always constantly like trying to help other countries? And it isn't because that country is destabilized from us. No one alive today is responsible for what happened in the past. I'd know that, because otherwise I'd be blaming every white person for how my people were treated in the history. And that's not fair, because you're not responsible for that. So my theory is that, yeah, it is what it is right now, but it's up to your leaders and your governments to fix shit. Like, I don't know. Let me understand what you say about it, or you think about that. I want to know what you guys think about that. Hit the comments and let us know, innit? Let us know. I don't know where Liz is. She's probably just like said, nah, fuck that, and just
so that thing's called the Georgia Guide Stones. It's
right.
The 10 Commandments for the globalist.
So yeah,
I'll definitely have a look.
What are globalists? What, the ruling elites? Is that what you mean?
I don't know.
I wish I could keep up with these comments. They're popping off, man. Yeah, it's
Liz is having a bath.
Oh, is she having a bath?
Well, and then someone on your thing, Beza, just said the elites, yes.
Ruling elites, like we have had this conversation in previous episodes, right? Like you would, if you're just finding us for the first time or discovering the Elite Thinking Club for the first time, go to our YouTube and look at some of our earliest episodes. Because honestly, when we first went into lockdown, my conspiracy brain, along with all the other members and other people, we were just going in on the conspiracies about ruling elites. And to a degree, it almost became like a self-fulfilled prophecy. It's almost like I've never seen them. I've never met them. They've all got different names like Freemasons, Illuminati, or whatever you want to call them. And they do satanic rituals and they have these celebrities in place. And it just kept getting more and more and more thick to the point where I thought, have we all just made this up? Like, have we just given power to something that doesn't even actually exist? To the point where
there's a Freemasons place in Letchworth.
Right.
So, and I know
how do you know that? How? This is my point. This is my point.
Because I know people that have been in there and met.
You met them, yeah?
I haven't met them. I know people have met them. And it weren't an orgy before you said it was an orgy. But
yeah, what do they do? Do they like sacrifice goats? Do they take virgins and like chain them up and give them off to the gods? Or what do they do? What the fuck is this about? And it's funny because no one really has a lot of proof. One thing that is for sure, is that the internet now is not a guaranteed source of knowledge. It's not a guarantee. I could put anything out there. I watched some guy type in Google and AI kicked in, created images of what he typed to make it like it was real. It's not real. It's an artificial robot that uses images that it's saved or created over time to put on your screen what you want to see. You understand? It's so dangerous. So I understand that there may have been a time when there is cults that arise, and yeah, there may be people who are like kings and queens and monarchs and priests and all that stuff, but are we now at a point in time where we've just made this up? Like, has it died off, or I don't know, man.
One of your TikTok viewers said that she knows a Freemason.
So what do they do? Do they get discount on the cost of living crisis? What the fuck? What's the point of being a Mason? You know, what's the point? What's the whole idea?
They worship Moloch, Maloch. Moloch.
So we're talking about the cost of living crisis, right? Which is what the episode's titled as. And now we're talking about the conspiracy stuff. Like, let's get back onto what we were talking about. I don't want to shut it down because I know it's really interesting. We will do an episode. The next episode, next Tuesday at 8 p.m., we are talking about conspiracies and these ruling elites, Freemasons, Illuminati. We will go in on that. So if you haven't done so already, put it in your flipping diary or hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, follow, so that when we go live next week at 8 p.m. UK time, we're doing an episode on that, exactly that. So, Michael, can you take a note of that somewhere so I don't forget? Thanks, brother. Liz is out, but wherever she is, she's probably watching us now.
Nice card.
Oh, I love that. What's that? Elite Thinking Club business cards. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got business cards. I love the Elite Thinking Club, and I love everyone that turns up to have a little chat about it all. I know that right there like sparks a lot of people's interests about the ruling elite. So if there was a ruling elite, and what do you believe that they're in control of this cost of living crisis? Is this what we're going with right now? I mean, members, let me know. Viewers, let me know. Is this what you're thinking? Is this the majority thought, that there are ruling elites and they purposely do this sort of shit to fuck us over? Is that what you think? I'd love to know. And Liz is back.
Owns a majority share of every company in the world worth owning.
Right.
They're the one that tried to ban. Oh, they was trying to ban people on Spotify, weren't they? BlackRock.
So I got a comment here, like T Beza, she's in on this. She says yes. Like, there is a ruling elite that purposely put all these things in place so that it fucks us over. At what point is that beneficial? Because you do realize that the human will suicide. We have the power to suicide when the threshold is met. So at what point will we get to when we finally rise up? What point will we have enough?
This cost of living crisis, this cost of living crisis is different to the whole vaccine debate. This is less divisive because everybody collectively will feel the hit of this cost of living crisis. We're you know, the only people who won't are those who are the elite, literally. Everybody else is going to. So therefore, there will be more people that will get to a point where they will say, no more. Their system and their strategy is created to keep us enslaved and to keep us within that system so that we are constantly spinning around the wheel.
It's true, because I have many times wanted to check out early, and I don't like admitting that, but I think that's part of life now. Like, I've contemplated it enough for a long time, thinking, is it rigged? I actually question myself sometimes. I think it's actually rigged. Like, I genuinely believe sometimes as well that there are things in place that are purposely put that way so that you will never escape. The only way to escape is either naturally or check out early. But then I don't want to let myself down, because I've been hypnotized by films and media and all of these loud screaming mindset coaches that scream positive mindset and positive energy and law of attraction and all this fucking jazz that makes me think, am I trying hard enough? Have I got to tune into myself more? What am I doing that I'm not doing already? And now I've come to the point where I just think, what a bunch of shit. They've sold you that shit. They've sold you that shit, and they profit off of your vulnerability like that. I genuinely believe that. Like, it's a joke. You could go to a loud talking person who stands on stage and makes you walk over hot coals and makes you think, yeah, I'm now going to give you this power. Your whole life's going to change. Are you fuck? Are you fuck? You're probably going to be back there this time next year. Again. It's mad thing. It's mad thing. I want to know what you think about that. I just went off on that then, didn't I?
I think that you should try and personally, I'm slowly freeing myself from the system, and it's blood. I love it.
Well, you should not free yourself so much of your internet. Get sorted.
Yeah, I had a comment. Shout out to Meggie P88. She's like, people talk like we're in an episode of The Sims. We could be. Like, have you seen The Truman Show by Jim Carrey? Like, one time I believed that was real. I actually started thinking that, like, what the actual fuck? Then The Matrix, and I started thinking, what the fuck? And it got to the point where it actually weren't healthy to go too deep into the conspiracy. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. You understand? Like, sometimes ignorance is bliss. Just enjoy your life for what it is and don't overthink it. The only issue is right now, this cost of living crisis is too much to bear. Like, the threshold was met before. Now it's just that little bit more, and it's that little bit more, and that little bit more. And then when does it stop? When's it going to stop? Like Liz said, is it going to have to be when everyone feels it? I think by then it's too late.
Well, we are in a game of Sims.
That's when there's, I think that, and I don't mean necessarily where people will take to the streets. I mean where people will be freeing themselves from the system, and they will be saying, no, I'm not paying this, or I'm not going to struggle because of this system that's been put into place.
Bless you, Michael, and bless you, Liz, for what you just said. But what happens when you stack debt so high? Let's imagine I said, no, I'm not paying my fucking bill.
Illusion.
They'll cut my supply.
Debt. It's all an illusion. Have you signed contracts for any of the you pay? Have you got a wet signature on a contract for any of the utilities you pay?
I don't know.
The answer is
My
no.
missus deals with that.
Now that you mention it, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. I just kind of pay it on the meter because I just moved in, so I'm on the meter. I have to wait a whole year.
Move in and do this. But under contract law, There's a lot of discrepancy. But that's for a whole nother episode.
Oh, Liz, you weren't on when we said this, but next week's episode 8, we're going to be doing ruling elites, Illuminati, Freemasons. We're going to be talking about that next week. Yeah,
educational.
Well,
yeah,
you can say that. Remember we did
though.
that flat Earth episode?
We're never doing that again.
Nah, we're never doing that again. Right, if you're just tuning into Elite Thinking Club, guys, we're laughing out loud because we talk about everything. We explore so much stuff. If you haven't done so already, you need to head over to the YouTube where you could actually see all 3 of us right now live talking. You'll see what we see on our platform. But if you are in the TikTok, happy days, love that. If you are on the Instagram, happy days, love that. Shout out to everybody viewing right now, love you guys. But hit that like, hit the subscribe, and hit the notification bell, especially for next week 8 p.m. we are talking about Illuminati, ruling elites, and Freemasonry, and how they rule the world apparently, and they're to blame for this whole food economic crisis thing, or no, cost of living dilemma, which is what we're talking about tonight. But yeah, that flat Earth episode, man, fucking hell, was that hilarious. That was brilliant. If you hadn't, go back, watch that episode. I'll put it in the description cards or the description below. You'll love it.
Oh.
What have you done?
Oh. Yeah, man. Cost of living crisis. Got enough going on as it is. When I really think about it, like, there's so much to take.
It's really scary with the farmers and everything. Like, what's going on with that's our food supply.
Right, yeah, talking about food supply, it is so much more convenient to buy food from the shop, of course. Plus, you've got your favorite brands who have built companies on the demand. So if there is a demand for, what's it, giant crisps, flaming hot, then they're going to produce it. And I get pissed off when I go to the shop and they're not there. I was like, they were there last week. Don't you know I only come in this shop for those crisps? And they're like, yeah, we'll go and get them. All the flipping Jamaican patties, shout out to Spa near where I work, get them back. Like, that's me demanding it, where's my supply? Right? Just saying, if they're listening. But you get what I'm saying. Supply and demand. So it is convenient. It is convenient. I don't want to make my own patties, and I don't know how they make them amazing crisps. However, if you cannot anymore afford to pay for those things, then you're gonna have to revert back to the traditional way of making your own, which, by the way, I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah. Have you ever, like, we do potato peel? So put your oven on if you can afford to put your oven on, and peel your potatoes.
Classes now, Jules. Are we doing cookery classes?
Yeah. Shout out to Gusto as well. I started Gusto, Liz. That's why I was late, Michael and Liz. I was doing my Gusto.
I love Gusto. And hello.
A little bit Gusto, mate.
I love that.
Do a little bit of Gusto. Shout out to my boy Kieran. Got me involved. Flipping love it. But yeah. So anyway, you get your potatoes and you just, get the peel. Just start peeling it. Get real thin peels. Put it in the oven. Sprinkle it with whatever you want. Paprika, your salt, and then there you go. You got crisps.
There you go. You got crisps.
You got crisps. Now,
so
obviously,
when the crisps aren't on the shelves, everyone can come to Jules and ask for his recipes.
They can.
He only charges £20 a time.
That's it.
Yeah. But if you're an Elite Thinking Club member, you get it 10%.
Half price.
Yeah.
Hey, I won't lie. Like, I love kale. I love kale chips. When you get your kale, just put it oil on it, season it. Oh, that's one of my go-to. That I love that. I do. How have we started talking about food? We do this all the time. We tangent.
Food supply. Yeah, the food supply.
Yeah.
Because everything that is happening right now, currently with the farmers, is detrimental to our food supply. Did you know?
So
I read an article. I read an article where basically the government are offering farmers £100,000 retire from farming, to basically give up farming on their land. I kid you not. I kid you not. I tweeted it earlier today. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. And if we don't have the farms, we don't have the food supply.
Blue Star 001 said that she see that too. commented just down. So she saw that too. Yeah, guys, if you're not already doing it, follow Liz on the Instagram and the Twitter. Constantly posting about all the things we love, and I love that about you, Liz, our freedom fighter over there. But yeah,
I do try.
It is a bit nuts. You know, when people think these ideas, how they don't think them through enough, I don't feel like. And I don't feel like they get enough case studies of the people that it affects to really justify the decision. So I actually, Liz, saw your post today, or something you commented on about Rishi Sunak, and he's like from
Rishi Sunak. Yeah,
Rishi,
I posted a thing on Facebook about it.
Yeah, about how his missus comes from a wealthy family. He's pretty wealthy himself. He's made a lot of money. Goes to a school that costs near 50 grand a year tuition. So that means you would have had to come from families that can afford that.
Absolutely.
Now the issue isn't that there's anything wrong with that. There isn't. There's different wealth fluctuating around the globe. But you know, it's fair in a sense. If you provide, you get paid. Yes. So for example, I sit here and laugh and joke about you know, shit, like I'm grateful that I can not pay my heating bills. It's so hot in the UK right now, but there is probably someone out there right now who is literally thinking, you don't know how good you got it. I'm fucking struggling, and we are not even at the worst of it yet. And I have to remember that. And it's all good and well having a laugh and a joke, but then like let's times that by the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level, and then by the time you get to the wealth of people like Rishi, you're so disconnected. I call it Kanye West syndrome. Not that I got anything against Kanye. I fucking love Kanye West, right? However, I remember one time when Kanye was at his peak so much that he forgot what it was to be one of us. Like he had soared so high, he was so disconnected from the roots, from from your people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes
done, isn't it?
Yeah. So to make a decision like, right, we're gonna offer the farmers 100,000 for their land, that would have been made by someone who
it's literally 100,000 to retire from farming, and that's not even worth them retiring. Their combine harvesters cost like near enough that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Someone somewhere who's so disconnected would have thought that's a good idea. They probably don't have enough mindfulness as to what they're dealing with. Like they probably have never. Let's imagine. Remember that time when Boris Johnson? I don't want to call him out like that because it's not fair. He's just an example I'm using, right? When he got asked how much something at a shop costs, and then he got asked how much a bottle of champagne costs, he knew the champagne like that.
Yeah.
Like instantly, he knew that like it was.
He lives.
He knew that so quick, different wines and whatnot, but he couldn't tell you how much corner shop bread would cost or butter, and that's like mad thing. But it's a reality.
I just want to say, shout out to everyone on Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you. Honestly, guys, thank you. We are
had some nice comments.
We're nothing without you guys.
Kirsty has said, "You look so beautiful, Liz." Oh, thank you, Kirsty.
Oh my God, Liz, don't be gassing yourself. Oh yeah, Kirsty, you said that, yeah?
I didn't realise you actually said that. I looked right at the bottom. I've been waving.
Michael, just to hear this out, yeah. We've got a comment, just so you know, we got a comment from one of our Instagram viewers. You look so beautiful, Liz. Oh, is that you saying? No other comment.
Oh, listen.
Was that the only comment?
That was the only comment, yeah.
And I've just realised I've been waving at people. I've been pressing the hand, and it obviously waves at people, which, I thought I had to press it to let them in. So I've just been waving at loads of people. I'm getting new. This is new to me. Okay.
It's cool. It's cool. So we are, shout out to T Beza. She's asking, how can we watch you all? So we are live at the moment on YouTube, where you can watch all three of us, me, Michael, and Liz, all together. Yeah. So find us at the Elite Thinking Club or Elite Thinking Club on YouTube. And we're live on there. Liz is on the Instagram, Elite Thinking Club. And obviously I am on TikTok. So you can catch us all. Yeah, it's all blessed. It's all blessed. And when you get over there, hit the subscribe button. Of course, we're trying to grow our viewers, because when we reach 500 subscribers, Michael's getting a tattoo. of the Elite Thinking Club logo. And when we reach 1,000 subscribers, we're all meeting up and we're doing an episode at a haunted church here in Canewdon, Essex. And we will be doing that episode live
I can't wait for that.
midnight in the dark, because we did an episode on witches, witchcraft, and we had a special guest, one of the witches, Freya, who is awesome. Fucking love that girl. Remember that episode with Freya?
Yeah,
so
that was
guys, yeah, if you haven't done so, watch some of our previous episodes. I think you'll really like them. So yeah, so we're when we get 1,000 subscribers, we're doing that episode over Canewdon Church and broadcast live and see if there's any witches. I know it's haunted. I don't care what anyone says. You just know it's eerie. It's eerie as fuck. And if anyone says,
you, Michael, isn't that Mike really thick? I'm watching these comments come up and I'm like, oh my God, it's you. You're so funny. You guys do put a smile on my face. You really do.
That's what it's about. Come on, that's what it's about. We're more than, we've got to be more than just serious all the time, man.
Jules is okay. Don't say that. Don't say that.
All right, so but let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. So this cost of living crisis is actually real serious. Now, is it just affecting the UK, or is this something happening globally? Like, because I heard something that India got a deal with Russia to get like a 30% cheaper fuel. I'm not sure if that's, am I right in saying that? Something along those lines. Like they're getting fuel very, very cheaply, and we're fronting the bill because we're paying more for it. Do you get what I mean?
I think
I haven't heard.
I think it's going to be a global thing.
A global thing, yeah. So China, I don't believe are affected by any of this shit. They are very self-sufficient as a country, aren't they?
Yeah, but I do think the ripple effect will happen, and it just depends on how that country dealt with lockdowns. So, like countries like Sweden that didn't really go along with it all. Their economy is absolutely like ahead of us.
Yeah.
But we are going to be affected because of the lockdown, the furlough schemes, the 500 billion quantitative easing printing, you know, the increase of taxes. There's so many elements to it.
So how are we going to survive? Let's move on to the how can we help each other right now? So if anyone actually has got an idea of how they're gonna survive this, because I don't know how long it's gonna last for, but if you have any ideas for, like, spread the love, spread the knowledge, because knowledge is power. Like, how are we going to get, like, are you just applying for new jobs? Are you looking to get salary increase? Like, how are you going to survive this winter?
I already have friends that are getting second jobs. So they're getting second jobs, so they've got extra money coming in because of the their energy bill has like doubled. I've got friends that are sort of tucking money away, saving extra money. I think it's going to be a community thing. We have to really like come together and rely on each other. And I think that within the community, I think that's where the mass sort of rising will come from, because we all need it, and we all need to have heat when it's cold. We all need to, and I know like there's lots of groups and things that are sort of putting out information on how to keep warm, like put extra clothes on if you can't have your heating on, you know, and have covers and things like that. There's people that are doing lots of recipes, like with sort of things that last forever or last really long, like lentils and chickpeas, and like what to stock up on now, because there's, you know, there's already people out there sort of in the community on the social platforms putting out all of these ideas and money saving tips, recipes, and you know, things to do for free with the children, like in the holidays, you know, all the things that will help save and also keep our spirits up. And I think that because it's going to be something that hits us all collectively, whatever level of incomes we have, apart from the elite, obviously, it's going to hit us all. It's going to hit people with mortgages. It's going to hit people who pay rent. It's, you know, it's going up regardless of whether you own your house or not. Your mortgage payment will go up and the rent is going up.
And also, like, people's mental health. If you're like anything like us and you need a somewhere to feel safe to talk about this sort of shit, then definitely join us at the Elite Thinking Club. Like, because we actually begun this whole podcast show type thing because of lockdowns. Remember when people just needed a place to go once a week just to feel like they were keeping their sanity, like the mental health, because it's okay to talk about this shit. Like, not many people have these don't give themselves the time to actually explore these things. And yeah, we're gonna have a laugh along the way, because you know, it's tough enough not having a laugh. You have to laugh, you know what I mean? You have a laugh or cry, right? And I mean, it's a time and a place for different things, but what I'm saying is that throughout this time, like in the future, when if we're gonna feel the pinch and we're all gonna feel it all together, then you're gonna need a place where you can feel like, you know, safe in a weird way. Like, we're gonna see it through together. We're gonna be here. We've been here. We're consistent. So if you're following, just tune in and see us there, innit? See us every week on a Tuesday, 8 p.m, and we can talk about it more and more.
This is definitely one of the things that kept saying. Definitely,
Jules,
good
when you create comments. So Zach says, support your farmers, which, yeah, if you buy stuff that is farmer,
buy local.
farmer helped.
So fuck the supermarkets, go to your local farmers and buy their fruits and vegetables.
Local shops. Yeah.
Okay.
Local farm shops.
And then Beza said, they are trying to break us down. We can change the collective. So many people only now waking up.
Shout out to Beza there. Just went from the TikTok over to the YouTube. I love that, because now you can see all three of us. Hey.
Yeah, she did say that. She did say, where is it? Hang on. I was on TikTok. It's so much nicer seeing all of you speaking. Put a face to the voice.
Yeah, it's nice. There you go.
And you don't actually see Jules's face.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not the only pretty one. You got Michael and Liz as well. We're all pretty.
Well, I'm okay.
Wait, so we're going to support our local produce, right? And then produce your own as well. Who knows? This could be the start of something really good, because you know how we've had it so easy for so long. You know, potentially you could become real lazy. You could become a convenient person, someone who, like myself, I won't pretend that I'm not going to sit on my own show and act like that guy who's got everything together, because I don't. Like, I can't be that sanctimonious either about it. Like, I might have figured things out that have made my life better, but there's always more to learn. But one of the things that definitely helps my growth is the hardship. Like, when it's tough, when it's hard, when I'm going through it, don't get me wrong, it's hard to do it alone. That's why I like that we meet up, guys. Like, I love that. Like, we always do. And but also to share the experience with others who are going through the same kind of thing. I think it's really, really important.
I'm quite excited about sort of the aftermath of all of this, because to me, I feel like a lot of people have had like an awakening, which they may never have had in their lifetime, to a lot of the things that we're conditioned to, a lot of the things that we get sort of sucked into and things. And I feel like the aftermath, there will be more people growing veg in their gardens. There will be more people will be buying the things that they only really need. There will be people that will be more savvy and making things and constructing things and like being more creative. And there will also be more of a community spirit. People will, and that restores my faith in humanity wholeheartedly, because I feel like you said earlier, hard times create
hard people, and hard people create good times.
Exactly. So we will have the aftermath will be the good times where we are like, do you know what? I've grown carrots, you've grown courgettes. I'll give you some of my carrots, you give me some of your courgettes. We don't need the supermarket. We've got it ourselves. That, you know, that's what we used to do back in the day. Way before.
You know what? There's something, Liz, I was going to say, there's something very, very, I don't want to call it spiritual, but, you know, because it might be, but there's something very like beneficial to like actually getting your hands into dirt, into soil, into the dirt, into the earth, you know, earthing. walking barefoot. Yeah, walking barefoot on grass and is good. It's like earthing or grounding, but then actually digging your hands into soil as well is really healthy. It's really like, I don't even know, it's like sun when it hits your skin. It's like the same sort of, you know what, if I knew the exact terminology, I'd be able to say it. I just don't know what it is I have to say. I don't know what it is I have to say, but it's something very beneficial to actually getting not stuck in the mud, but getting your hands dirty, basically.
Oh, I thought you were talking about plants, photosynthesis.
No. I was talking about like, agriculture. Doing your agriculture is very healthy for your well-being. And if you're, especially when you reap the benefits of your produce, like if you've planted some strawberries and then you get strawberries, how fucking good does that feel? It's free, and it should be fucking free. Like, well, how are we paying for that shit? Don't get me wrong, you're paying for someone else to do it, and that's what I mean in a sense that we've become a bit lazy. It's very convenient.
And we are now at a point where we're relying on these manufacturers and these corporations for us to live every day. Whereas people had their own chickens, laying the eggs, they grew their own veg. I remember my nana had a whole allotment of lettuces, cabbages, carrots in her garden.
Yeah. And they taste banging. Like they're not contaminated, they're not pesticides, they're not like
exactly.
Yeah. And my granddad has got it all in his garden. He's got like 4 massive bits that he grows all his own stuff.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Shout out to the people that want to join the live. I know that you want to join the live, and that's cool and all that. However, like, can't take that chance. Plus, I've got Liz and Michael here. We're on YouTube. If you want to put a face to the voice, you need to head over to the YouTube so you can see my beautiful co-hosts, Michael and Liz. And if you're over on the Instagram, you definitely should, because Liz is nowhere near as good looking as me. So you've got to get over to
I'm trying to catch up
anywhere near as
fucking beautiful, Liz. Yeah. Isn't she?
Trying to catch up with you.
Hit that like, hit the subscribe, because if you do, hit the notification bell as well, because we go live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Last episode that we did before, we talked about Roe versus Wade and the abortion side of life and how it's had a massive impact on people's mindset towards abortion. Like, are you pro-life? Are you pro-choice? And we kind of boiled it down to, at the end of the episode, summarized it like, we're all for people making their own decisions. But if you make the choice, embrace the choice. You understand? But then no one should ever have the right to take that choice away from you. And if you want to watch that episode, I'll put the link in the description and the card. Next week, we're going to be talking about Illuminati, ruling elites, and Freemasonries, and all them other things that people believe rule the world that we live in. There's some sort of like hierarchy, ruling elites that see all of this as one big puppet game and one big chess game, and they all make governments fight governments, and it's all part of their big plan to keep us under control. And if that be the case, wouldn't that make them gods? Wouldn't that make them God? It would make them gods, right? So when you worship your God, is that who you're worshiping? And anyway, we could go in on this to the point where, who knows, they may not even be human. I might not even be human. I heard the other day that they've got clones. They've made clones. And it makes me laugh, because the amount of times that I've actually thought in my head, I've just saw that person walk past. I'm never going to see that person ever again. But because I'm so in my life, like so involved in my life, I probably have seen the same fucking clone or robot or non-important character in this whole flipping simulation walk past many times. Sometimes I've even said hello to complete strangers just to see what they react like. And sometimes I get completely blanked, completely ignored. And it makes me think,
are they a bot?
Are they even real? Yeah. Are they robots? Are they simulations? Like, because I'm not supposed to interact with them. Like, I break out of the matrix for a split second because I'm so predictable. Google knows where I'm going before I go there. That's a fact. They know. They just fucking know. It's like they're listening to me right now. Remember when we had to come off Facebook? We used to be on Facebook, by the way. We used to be live on Facebook. And what we found was some of the stuff we were talking about, we were getting cut off. We weren't allowed to continue. And they restricted our viewers. They weren't pushing our content. Yeah, they weren't allowing us to speak. So that's why we're no longer on Facebook. If anyone's thinking, why are you guys not on Facebook anymore? Fuck Facebook, because they don't want us to share this. They don't want us to talk about stuff that they don't. We should have just started like praising Mark Zuckerberg every other sentence, and then maybe he would have pushed our content.
He's a bot.
He's got to be a bot. But even if he's cloned, if he was cloned, we'd never know. Like, for all we know, you could get these full-on geniuses, create something so great that once it's made, then see you later, original you, and put the clone back in. And that's why they say like Eminem's cloned.
Really?
Because yeah, like remember that album he made about like how he was talking about 9/11 and George Bush, and he made a song called Mosh, and he was trying to use his influential power to free the minds, make people woke. And next thing you know, he's going to rehab. He's on recovery album, and he went through this massive down slip, and then he disappeared for time. And now all of a sudden, this guy comes back, and he's like just slightly altered, definitely not blonde, blue eyes, and he's now just back. It's a bit, hey. And that's next week's episode, 8 p.m. Tune into the Elite Thinking Club. I don't want to talk about it tonight. Tonight we're talking about the food crisis, but yeah, man. What do you guys think? What's his name? That football player that thought the Queen is a lizard. What's his name?
David Icke.
Icke, yeah. David Icke. And shout out to all of our younger generations as well, for fuck's sake. Like, I can't disregard these younger generations. They're probably just waking up to this. They are most likely, like, we've been around for a while. I'm 33 years old, and I discovered shit like this when I was like 15 years old. Like, I was really into it as well. Smoked way too much weed, and I was like, yo, this is that. And you know, as time goes on and you elaborate your brain and develop your skill set to harness things, start seeing and reading between the lines, and start expanding your consciousness and wokeness, or whatever you want to call it. But let's not forget, there's probably a lot more younger generations now tapping in, and they've only just heard about this. They probably only heard Illuminati. What's that? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know when you first heard about this kind of stuff.
Quite a few years ago, but I bet nothing to it.
What? So, Michael, you don't think that this whole like food crisis thing is to keep us, the slaves, under?
Well, it might be, but as long as I live for now, so as long as my belly is full and I'm in a house, then that's all I can think about.
In a way, that's all you can. That's all you can. All we can do is focus on now. We can prepare for the future, but ultimately we are in this moment. So we need to.
Remember we done that episode and I said to you guys that the world map was upside down?
Yeah.
Remember that? And it triggered some people in our comments. Like, just so you know, the world map is upside down, purposely made that way. We did an episode on this whole like ruling elites thing and how like the past is the past and we don't need to really dwell in it. But it was all about the Black Lives Matter, to be fair. When that kicked off and we did the episodes to cover it, then we did the Carl Rittenhouse trial and all them things there. Yeah, I came out with it. I said straight up, like the world map is purposely made upside down so that there's white superiority at the top and then there's all these underdeveloped countries at the bottom. So it's got this subconscious hierarchy, when in actual fact, North is flip it, mate. That is that. All of the prosperous countries with shitloads of happiness and goodness and it's so it's above is your Africas, is your Australias, is your Thailands, is all of that, right? And then your shit countries with a freezing cold and low vibration and all that shit are at the bottom. Think about it. Your Russia, your UK, you know what I mean? Your North America. It's a fact. Why would we put that at the top? It ain't the top. But anyway, that's a whole nother episode, which I'm really looking forward to now. You got me on one. Are you triggering my...
You're triggering that if you think it's flat Earth.
Yeah. And if you think it's a flat Earth. When we did the flat Earth episode, I was so on it, wasn't I? I genuinely believed it. I still, to a degree, want to believe it, but now I can't believe it. I just can't. I have to admit.
I think so that there's so many, that there's so much information out there, and there's so many documentaries that when you watch them, there's so much that whilst you're watching that content, it validates certain things that you can be.
I love that, Liz. I love that you just said that.
easily, your mind can be changed. And also, we should always be learning throughout our lives. We never stop learning. So if you're presented with information and it's factual and, you know, there's evidence, you should change your opinion, or you should change your mind on stuff, because that's the whole point in learning and moving forward and growth, isn't it?
So one thing that's for sure is that the human mind is designed to protect you. So it cherry picks information to actually confirm your bias.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like that, but it's a fact. So if you believe that, I don't know, all black people love hip hop and guns, then even if you met a black person who doesn't like hip hop and doesn't like guns, because your mind cannot see the reality, it doesn't want to see the reality, so you actively only seek the black person that likes hip hop and guns. Do you get what I'm saying? And what one of the difficult things about that is there is a mass majority of people who suffer with the same bias in their minds. And I use that example as black people and guns. That's not really like to say it's everyone. That's not really fair, but it could be anything. It could be that, I don't know, white people don't know how to dance. I know loads of white people that know how to dance, but if I wanted to, if my brain was biased, it would only see white people who can't dance. Do you get what I mean? Or something like that. It's basically what I'm saying. It's very hard to override your brain, isn't it? You have to override it.
Definitely.
When we did that episode on veganism, I loved that episode. That was massive. That was powerful, because, you know, you get a lot of stick for being vegan sometimes, because some people cannot break free from that bias. Like, no, I have to eat this, this, and this because I am a omnivore and I've got canines and I have to do this. And it's like, that's not true.
But now they're pushing for no meat, and, you know, Bill Gates is pushing for pretend meat and not real meat. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's certain things that I think are pushed out into the media that don't help the cause, so to speak. That it kind of makes people suddenly, like you said, with the bias in their brain, they suddenly think, oh, this is different to what I know. I don't like this.
That's it. Yeah. Like, I get laughed at sometimes by some guys when I actually mention retention. So it's funny because it's a deep spiritual practice. Like, we all know that because of the conversations we've had. But when I initially mention it, it's almost laughable. It's like, really? That's a thing? But if you don't go into you don't educate, if you're not open to hear it, it goes against your bias. Like, that's not true. We're supposed to spread seed everywhere. If that was the case, then you'd have 365 kids in a year, my brother, because that's your potential. You could have sex with 365 different women in a year and have 365 kids. So why haven't you? And that's the beauty of the Elite Thinking Club, because we explore that shit. So we're definitely doing an episode on that, because like I love that. You know, I'm passionate about that anyway. I think it's important, especially for example, Liz, you are a mother of a young boy, and one day he's going to need to learn that education. You cannot teach him because you're a woman. You wouldn't possibly know, but it's important that you do kind of know a little bit so that you can help influence it when the time's right. And obviously Michael and me, we're men, and we explore that too. So very beneficial for both parties in that sense. However, we've gone on mad
period of my life.
We've gone on mad tangents right now, and we should definitely go back to where it all began, and that is the dilemma: cost of living. Are you eating, or is it heating? Are you saving?
Crisis.
Yeah. Or are you craving? That even makes sense. Just try to make that funny. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough times. Hard times create hard men. Hard men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create the hard times. And it is a vicious cycle. I'm with you, Liz, on the fact that through it all and at the outcome, we will have a harder nation of people prepared to, you know, do what needs to be done. for the desired outcome.
It's survival. We will do it, and we will come together. It will be a community and a communal, and we will prevail. I've believed it from the start of all of this madness, and I will continue to believe that.
If you didn't know no different, you wouldn't really be affected, would you? Just thinking about like new generations coming through, like talking about how we're opening the minds, waking up the younger generations. But if you were born into this, you wouldn't know no different.
No.
It's only because we know different that we're finding this hard. If we actually attack this with a brand new mindset, like we just got born into this world, how would we see it? How would we react? Because this is all we would know. The cost of living is what it is. So what would you do?
I think deep down within our conscious and subconscious, we would know that something wasn't right.
I've always known that.
There'd be elements, but what I'm saying is that if you're born into it, there'll be so many years of people living that way that are born into it and will think, this isn't really it, is it? Is this what life is really all about?
Yeah.
I think we all have that because we are energy, we are spiritual, we have these thoughts and these moments and these dreams, and that's our subconscious and our conscious telling us this is not how we are supposed to be. Homo sapiens.
Shout out to Liz on the drop the bars, Liz. I love it. I love that. Yo, you're not wrong at all, Liz. And you're so right. Yeah, if I was born into this world now and I saw it with a clean vision, like a brand new perspective, not that because I wouldn't have known nothing in the past to compare it to, I would actually question, why does that cost that much, but you only get paid that much? At what point? How are you doing that?
Exactly.
How are you doing that? Why do you even have that job? You can't have that job if it costs that much to live.
Exactly. Logic.
But because like, I don't know, is it naivety? Are people living in naivety, living in hope?
It's also if we're conditioned and indoctrinated to be part of a system and to believe that that's just how it is, it's very easy to go along with it. It's very easy to accept it. It's the acceptance. We accept to live that way. We allow it. We don't realize it, but we do.
It's funny, right? Because I actually had a DM from a follower, and it was the longest flipping DM of my life. It was a 20-minute voice note, and I'm never doing that again. So I'm just going to warn you guys that send us DMs and voice notes and shit. Never send me a 20-minute voice note. I will not listen to it. I'm not having it. I'm not doing it. I'm never doing that again in my life. It is not flipping happening. However, out of respect, I did listen to it. And what was said was something about, like, do you find that when people go on riots, when people stand up and fight the power or whatever, it's like kids crying, kids moaning, and just, you know, kicking off, and then they go back to normal after that. And I said, it's not about that. Like, you need to understand the power in the masses, the power in the people. The news never report on the collective consciousness of the people. The people come together just to reaffirm that they are not alone.
Yeah.
You know, there is so many more of us that have things in common than there are that have things different about us. And one of the things that we have in common is how much we feel, or trying to be made to feel, like we don't have any power. Mm-hmm. You understand? If you put like one droplet of water in my palm, it doesn't do a lot. But if you put like a few droplets, it starts to build a little pool in my hand. Now, if you put lots of droplets in, I start to get like overwhelmed by it. I have to get myself a cup, right? And then my cup gets full. And then once the cup's full, it starts to overflow. And then there's a bath of people. And next thing you know, you have an absolute wave of people, a tsunami of people. And that is an unstoppable force. So never, ever think that your riots or your stand-ups or your protests go without nothing, no influence or no progression. It's not true. It's the moment you feel like you don't make a difference, and then everyone doesn't do it, that we hand it back. We hand this power back. And that's something that you must remember anytime that you feel powerless. You are not alone, and there are many who think the same as you. Many. It's never reported in mainstream. Yeah, it's never on the mainstream media. They don't want you to know, but Trust when I say that, trust.
We are the power. We elect these people to govern us. We are the power. We are the people. And without the people, they are not powerful without us. They are only there because we are here. People forget that.
Yeah, it's a classic saying. It's like, what difference do I make? Said by millions of people.
Exactly.
You understand?
No power of you.
Right. I believe that's a really good time to end tonight's episode. Liz, Michael, is there anything else that you want to say to our viewers, to our guests, to anybody watching, or anything you want to add to the episode?
No, just thank you for commenting. And Zach joined the Discord. He's now on the Discord.
Come on, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Get on that Discord. If you want to start a channel, Zach, if you're something you want to speak about, create a channel, mate. We'll have a chat. It's all good. Love that. Get on that Discord channel. All I want to say is same exactly what you just said, Michael. There. Shout out to everyone that's been viewing. Shout out to the followers. Shout out to people that's subscribed to the YouTube channel. Keep supporting. We really, really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, do it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow. Watch a previous episode. Like, find one that you find interesting. We talk about so much stuff. We explore everything and anything on this channel to do with life. And mainly, it's just to grow. It's just to explore. Can't change anything unless you're willing to understand it. You can't understand it unless you're willing to explore it. It is what it is. Next week's episode, same time, same place, 8 p.m. on the Elite Thinking Club. We are going to be talking about the ruling elites. We're going to be talking about the Freemasons, talking about Illuminati, and how people believe that they are the big players and they just manipulate our way of life to keep us under. Love to know what you think about that. Love you to be there. Go away, do some research, come back this time next week, hit the comments, hard, fast, and aggressive. Bang, 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 bang in the comments. And then we'll be like, fucking hell, they should host the show. They know more than we do. But anyway, it's not even about.
Bez has just said she's off to watch the Flat Earth episode.
I love that. Yeah, great episode.
Brilliant.
I might watch it just to go back and watch it. See what we was talking about. See how much we've changed. God. Right. Do we have Russell Brand account? Russell Brand? Oh, you mean this guy? Yeah, I love a bit of Russell Brand. He's a good guy. I was lucky enough to meet Russell a couple of times. I went to a couple of his shows. Definitely
I met him as well on one of his shows.
Great guy. Great guy. Anyway, maybe one day we'll get him on the show.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be quality. Right. If we're done, then I suppose it's time to say goodbye. I know it's sad, ain't it? But don't worry, we'll be back next week. You know what I mean? We'll be back next week.
Same time next week.
But if you can't get enough, just go over to the YouTube, pick an episode, watch some more. Why not? If you're sitting there, what you're doing now? There's loads. Just get on there, watch the episode. Watch the Flat Earth one, like done. Yeah, and comment. We'll see them. We'll love to know what you think. Right. I'll tell you what was a good one. The gender equality one. Or was that the one we were talking about? Like, that was a good one. And we were talking about how, like, you can't race in the same race. I don't want to spoil it. But anyway, get over to YouTube and watch an episode.
Go watch.
Right. Michael, Liz, is there anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Thanks for watching.
All good. All right, guys. So from me and the team, everyone everywhere, peace and love.